In this gripping episode, we delve into the harrowing tale of Shirley Durdin and her fateful encounter with a relentless, great white shark. Amidst the idyllic shores and sun-soaked dreams, a family sought solace and adventure, yet the tranquility would soon shatter in the face of nature's brutal reality. This episode is a stark reminder that even within paradise's embrace, hidden terrors can surface, leaving scars that echo through time. Shirley Durdin, her husband Barry, and their 4 children had recently uprooted their lives from the rural Australian town of Carcoo, nestled about an hour's drive inland, driven by Barry's severe allergies to farm life. A relocation to the Peak Bay coast was an inescapable fantasy that became a reality because of how alluring living by the ocean had always been to them. The Durdin family and their good friend Keith Coventry set off on a leisurely beachfront excursion on March 3rd, 1985, a routine day that would later be remembered for its terrible turn of events. The goal was to enjoy the calm atmosphere of the beach and the soothing embrace of the sun's warm beams. As the day progressed, destiny was ready to throw a shadow over this picture-perfect setting. The young people played on the sandy area with youthful vigor, completely absorbed in their amusing activities. The grown-ups, in this instance, Shirley and Barry, had other goals in mind. They wanted to dive for scallops, one of the sought-after maritime jewels. Keith Coventry, their dependable companion, was at their side, prepared to accompany them on their underwater expedition. Shirley and Barry took a minute to explain their plans to their engrossed children before starting their quest. They explained their intentions with all seriousness, telling their offspring that their trip would only be short, and that they would stay close to the coast while still nestled in their diving gear. The little ones, in their innocence, responded to this parental announcement with quick nods and hasty goodbyes, focusing their attention firmly on the amusing activities the beach provided and blissfully unaware of the coming disaster that lay. As the underwater excursions progressed, Barry and Keith systematically gathered a plentiful cornucopia of scallops, one of nature's priceless treasures of the deep. After securing their hauls, they returned to the welcome embrace of the shore, where they met together to await Shirley's arrival. Barry pierced the air, and Keith's light-hearted banter and jokes as they conversed throughout this waiting period. Their laughing added a sense of community to the peaceful surroundings as the sea wind wafted it. Shirley, meantime, found herself engulfed in the captivating tapestry of undersea marvels, and her interest led her to pick a larger quantity of scallops than she had anticipated. She gave up her aquatic daydream as her underwater voyage ended and started the climb to meet her family on the beach. Don't forget to bite the like and subscribe button if you like this video. Thus, the innocent fun of youngsters, the search for marine riches, the company of friends, and the allure of the depths all came together on this fatal day. Nobody anticipated that this ordinary day would end in a catastrophe that would irrevocably change the path of history. An enormous great white shark, a fearsome predator with a stunning length of almost 22 feet, rose from the depths of the ocean's secrets. The sun's golden rays cascaded onto the serene seascape as this apex predator, driven by an insatiable appetite, drove its gigantic body onward with sinuous motions across the blue expanse. The shark's senses evolved to be sensitive to even the tiniest hints of low-frequency vibrations, a symphony of signals that hinted at possible nutrition, much like a wounded fish pathetically pleading. Such vibrations fueled the predator's ravenous desire and pushed it forward as it ruled the aquatic realm with unimaginable power. The shark studied the water's glittering surface with jet-black eyes that seemed to possess an aura of ancient knowledge. These eyes were precise devices, able to detect even the smallest disruptions in the aquatic tapestry, thanks to millions of years of development. Perched at the top of the marine food chain, it was a sentinel for nature, and its vigilant stare symbolized it. The difference between the two main sorts of attacks, each motivated by different goals, is essential to understanding the subtleties of shark behavior. Attacks provoked and motivated by human interference typically have recognizable patterns and interactional scars. Unprovoked assaults, in contrast, emerge from a different source: an insatiable curiosity, a sporadic impulse to explore the unfamiliar, or, in rare instances, an elemental need for nourishment. Shirley's figure slowly emerged from the 7-foot deep water. She swam gracefully, completely unconscious of the approaching catastrophe, heading towards Barry and Keith, who were blissfully unaware of the developing danger. As the unrelenting great white began its relentless chase, its instincts were sharply focused on its chosen quarry, Shirley, now an unsuspecting participant in this aquatic tragedy, and the tendrils of fate were already in action. Then the inevitable happened, unleashing a crescendo of terror in front of the spectators. In nature's magnificent theater, the great white leaped forward with unprecedented speed, its strong body lifting it above the water's surface in a terrifying imitation of images from the most gruesome film noir stories. The predator manifested in midair, poised in a ghostly moment of midair suspension, an incarnation of primordial fury and survival instinct, an apex predator in its pure form. And the air saw this frightening display. Shirley was violently launched into the air by the great white shark's powerful breach, shattering her world in an unimaginable second. The predator's enormous jaws closed with a bone-chilling finality, entangling her body in their powerful hold. A horrifying display of nature's spectacle developed, leaving an unforgettable sight of dread. Her shape was put through inconceivable anguish as the jaws, acting as the vise of destiny, pressed down with increasing pressure. She fell back into the ocean's embrace as gravity seized control, with a thunderous splash that blended with the violent primal melody. The shark's instincts emerged with a savagery that had been honed through generations of development, a technique perfected over countless millennia for the express goal of ripping flesh and cutting limbs from helpless victims. The beast's enormous head thrashed with primal savagery. The formerly peaceful waters were now the scene of a gruesome sight, as the creature's ferocious appetite terrorized the marine environment. The men and kids who had previously joined in the beach's laughter were now transfixed in a scene of fear. They stared in impotent dread as the tragedy played out before them, their eyes focused on the developing nightmare. The normally turquoise ocean's bottom became a terrifying shade of red, a disturbing reminder of the inside fight. In the middle of this horror, Barry released a guttural, primal scream, sending a frantic plea to the gods across the air. He was startled out of his shocked state and rushed forward with a genuine desire to save his beloved Shirley from an unimaginable doom. But with equal parts courage and tenacity, Keith and the kid's hands were able to stop his maniacal approach. The sobering truth that nature had snatched a soul beyond redemption stopped Barry's heart-rending calls for action. The course of life had been permanently changed in a matter of minutes. A day intended for recreation and friendship had become an endless nightmare. Barry's agonized cries, which echoed across the beach, were a reminder of the arbitrary brutality that may be concealed under the appearance of serenity and the weight of a love unfulfilled and a life cut short. Shirley's corpse floated in the water in the eerie calm that followed, a heartbreaking reminder of the brutality that had taken place. After biting her half from the waist down, the shark lingered under the water's surface as a menacing presence. The huge white returned for one more horrible deed, while Keith, her family, and herself stared aghast. Before disappearing into the depths, the shark performed a horrific twist by severing Shirley's head from her body, leaving behind unspeakable agony. This tragedy's aftermath left a bleak impression. Rescuers made heroic attempts to pull Shirley's corpse from the sea, but were unsuccessful. The heartbreaking decision to discontinue the search came after days of thorough searches turned up no sign of her torso. It was assumed that the unrelenting great white had reappeared and had completely erased all evidence of her previous presence. The legacy of this horrifying event continued to haunt Barry, their children, and Keith, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the ruthless indifference of nature. Shirley's soul persisted among the vivid memories, both happy and terrifying, a sign of a person valued by those who survived her. That is all for this video. We will be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video. Until next time.